Let me see. Let's just pull up our reading for today, which is a spiral and not a circle. The reading for the 20th day of December in this year of grace, 2025. Awakening is not changing who you are, but discarding who you are not. And that was Deepak Chopra. I'm sure you've all heard of him. Awakening is not changing who you are, but discarding who you are not. Maybe. And Ernest Holmes in The Science of Mind. That's the big textbook. Ernest Holmes wrote two Science of Mind editions, one in the 1920s, one in the 1930s, and this is from the 1930s edition. Really big tomes, you're talking hundreds of pages. He says, Ernest Holmes says, God is always God. The divine is always the divine, if you like. No matter what our emotional storm or what our objective situation may be, there's always something hidden in the inner being that has never been violated. So at the level of spirit, everything is always perfect at the level of spirit, not the level of form, okay? And this is Rev Michael Gott again, who says, coming into the last days of another year, I'm aware of repeating the familiar patterns, the holiday traditions and the decorations, taking stock of the year that's passing, preparing for the year to come. Says, I find it helpful to remember that we are on a spiral path of spiritual evolution. This was Ernest Holmes' theory, who said he didn't believe we kind of go up in fits and starts. We go up in a spiral. And spiral implies we learn, we go up, we learn, we come back down again, we digest what we've learned, we go back up again. We come down a little bit and we go up again. But the spiral is always, always upwards. And this is Michael Gott again. That we come to the same places around the calendar as the sun makes another journey around, as the earth, makes another journey around the sun. Going back to pre-Galilean ideas. As the earth makes another journey around the sun, we're not quite the same as we were. We've grown. We've grown older for sure, a bit nearer to our final days in the body. And we bring another year's experience to our lives. He goes on to say, I've experienced other similar patterns in the spiral. Recently, I've come to terms with more layers of pain around growing up gay in a fundamentalist Christian family. This is work I've been doing for more than 40 years. Part of me was disheartened when the pain was revealed, but I've been on this journey for a while now, and I've learned that if I can remain conscious and open, yes, on the other side of whatever spiritual and emotional work is required, right, I'll find greater freedom and greater access to my true self. Experiencing an old pattern of thinking or behaving, well, it doesn't necessarily mean that we've regressed. It could mean that we're finally ready to face our old ways at a new depth. Yes, with all this strength and wisdom we've gained along this spiritual journey. The spiritual path isn't a straight line. It's not a circle either. It's an upward spiral of becoming and transcending. And in simple terms, as I was kind of indicating at the beginning, we go through life, we learn, sometimes we make mistakes. We go through life, we make mistakes. And we eventually learn from those mistakes. And that's part of the spiral. We learn, we make some mistakes, and we kind of come back down a bit. And then we figure out what those mistakes have taught us, and then we start moving up the spiral again, and that goes on. But Ernest Holmes believed that that would just go on forever, that the whole purpose of life was to keep moving upwards in that spiral and keep going on and on. And Well, for some of us, it takes a long time to learn certain things, and others, well, other times we learn very quickly. So it took me a long time to get rid of the fact that I should always feel guilty about everything. My mother, well, that's a wonderful quality, but one quality she passed on to me, as I've mentioned many times, which wasn't a good quality, it was always feeling guilty about everything. She always felt less than, and she always felt guilty, and it took me a long time to get over that. And at times I'm still working with it, so there you are. But anyway, back to today. Today was a wonderful day. Our grandson had invited us up for lunch. It turned out to be a later lunch. It started off going to be noon, 12:30. We got there. We thought we were late at 12:40. Nothing was ready. And then we found out our other grandson was there. Both of them were with their partners there. So there were there were 6 of us, which was kind of nice. He cooks everything fresh, which was really cool. And we had a wonderful afternoon. So I'm still digesting it. We didn't overeat at all, but it was pretty good. And my wife had actually made the American version of an Indonesian spice cake, which is called spit cookie. It means baking cake. But when the Indonesian Dutch families moved to the US, making the original spice cake was just too complicated because it's made in lots and lots of layers and it takes forever to make. So they simplified the recipe, and that's the one she made today. But it still contains the same spices, which is kind of good. So anyway, let me see. I'm going to close this just by saying, as a reminder, the light. Oh, yes, the affirmations. The affirmations. Oh, my dear. I'm growing, revealing more and more of the good of God within me. I am growing, revealing more and more of the good of God within me. Use it if you like. I am becoming, releasing everything that is unlike the light of the divine within me. I'm becoming, releasing more of what is unlike the light of the divine within me. Or make out your own. And remember this, we are never alone. We never can be alone because we're expressions of one divine source. And also the light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Everywhere we are, God is and always will. So until tomorrow, I will see you 5 o'clock-ish tomorrow. My wonderful colleague, Reverend Lisa Ryan, will see you on Creative Life Spiritual Center's Facebook page at 9:15 tomorrow. And Creative Life Spiritual Center will be having its Sunday service tomorrow, which will be broadcast live on Facebook tomorrow from their Facebook page. So tune in for that, 11 a.m. Central Time. So until next time, namaste.